There's one enemy more dangerous than any rival. Any setback or any circumstance in your life, it's not society, it's not luck, it's not the economy. That enemy is you. The hard truth is this: most people don't fail because the world stops them. They fail because they can't win the war within. They lose on the silent battlefield where careless words destroy relationships. Negative thoughts sabotage opportunities. Impulsive emotions burn years of progress. And money slips through their hands because they lack discipline. Napoleon Hill once said, "If you don't control yourself, you will never control anything else." And that is the ultimate key to success, self-mastery. Think about it. Why is it that some people always command respect, stay calm under pressure, build wealth that lasts, and seem unstoppable? The answer boils down to four things: your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. Your words are either seeds or weapons. They open doors or slam them shut forever. Your mind is the command center of destiny. If you don't guard it, it will betray you. Your emotions are fire. They can warm your life or reduce it to ashes. Your money is a mirror of your discipline. Without control, it will control you. In this video, you'll discover how to master these four forces and step into unshakable strength. This isn't theory. This is a battle plan, a proven framework for self-control, focus, and power. Remember this: the greatest victory in life is not over others, it's over yourself. And starting right now, you're about to enter the most important battle you will ever fight. Words are not harmless. They're not just sounds in the air. They are blueprints for your future. Every word you speak plants a seed. Some seeds grow into trust, opportunity, and success. Others grow into regret, conflict, and destruction. And here's the scary part: most people plant weeds every single day without even realizing it. Think about it. Wars have been started by words. Families have been destroyed by words. Careers have ended with a single careless sentence. Your entire reputation, your relationships, and even your opportunities are built or burned by the way you use your mouth. Now ask yourself, are your words working for you or against you? Words shape perception. Every time you open your mouth, you're building an image of who you are. People might forget what you wore, what you owned, or even what you did, but they will never forget what you said to them and how you made them feel. A single word can brand you as trustworthy or untrustworthy, as confident or insecure, as disciplined or careless. This is why successful leaders and entrepreneurs and influencers choose their words like surgeons, choose their tools carefully, intentionally, and strategically. They know one wrong cut can ruin everything. Words can be weapons or shields. Let's be real. Most people speak to react, not to respond. They talk too much, too fast, and too carelessly. And then they wonder why people don't respect them, why opportunities pass them by, and why conflict follows them everywhere. The disciplined person understands this truth. Silence is power. You don't need to react to every insult, every rumor, every criticism, because the moment you do, you hand your peace and your power over to someone else. Here's the golden rule: if your words don't build, they destroy. If they don't help, they hurt. And the strongest people in any room are the ones who can hold their tongue when everyone else is rushing to speak. Words begin in the mind. But here's something deeper. Your mouth is only the surface. Words don't appear on their own. They are born in your thoughts. If your thinking is undisciplined, your speech will be reckless. If your mind is negative, your mouth will spread negativity. But if your mind is focused, purposeful, and disciplined, your words will carry strength. That's why mastering your mouth is impossible without first mastering your mind. Your inner dialogue becomes your outer language. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't, I'm not enough, or I always fail, eventually those words escape your mouth and shape the world around you. You must upgrade your internal language before you can upgrade your external influence. Practical mastery controlling your mouth. So, how do you master your words in a world addicted to noise? 1, pause before you speak. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. It gives you time to think, judge the moment, and decide whether your words will build or destroy. 2, choose words as investments. Think of your words as currency. Don't waste them on gossip, complaints, or empty arguments. Spend them only where they create value, encouragement, clarity, truth. 3, align words with actions. Nothing kills trust faster than words that don't match reality. Say what you mean what you say. Keep your promises, even the small ones. 4, limit your speech. Increase your impact. The more you talk, the more you reveal your emotions, your weaknesses, your plans. The less you talk, the more powerful and mysterious you become. People respect silence because it's rare. 5, use words to elevate. Speak life into others. Encourage instead of criticize. Teach instead of gossip. A word of belief can change the trajectory of someone's life. Story of a word that changed everything. History is filled with moments when a single sentence altered everything. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. saying, I have a dream. That wasn't just a phrase. It became the foundation of a movement that reshaped a nation. On the flip side, how many careers, marriages, or friendships have been destroyed because someone couldn't control their tongue in a heated moment? A single word of disrespect, spoken in anger, has the power to erase years of trust. That's the razor's edge you live on every time you speak. Your words are never neutral. They're always building or breaking. The discipline of speech. Most people want to be heard more than they want to listen. They want to impress more than they want to understand. But the truth is, power in speech doesn't come from talking more, it comes from saying less and making every word count. Every careless sentence you avoid is a victory. Every unnecessary argument you walk away from is a win. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you sharpen your discipline. And every time you choose your words with intention, you build a life of respect, influence, and opportunity. Final thought. Your mouth is a weapon, a tool, and a bridge. It can destroy or it can build. It can start wars or it can create peace. It can burn down your future or it can unlock it. Control your mouth, and you control the respect you earn, the opportunities you attract, and the image you project to the world. Never forget, your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Plant wisely or spend your life pulling weeds you planted yourself. Your mind is the command center of your life. It is the CEO of your destiny, the architect of your reality, and the filter through which every experience is shaped. Whatever dominates your mind eventually dominates your life. Here's the truth. Most people miss your outer world is nothing but a reflection of your inner world. If your thoughts are scattered, your life will be scattered. If your mind is negative, your life will overflow with negativity. But if your mind is sharp, disciplined, and focused, everything in your life begins to align. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against competition, not against circumstance, not even against the world. It is the battle within your own mind. Guard the gates of your mind every single day. The world tries to storm your mental gates. Social media, news, gossip, advertising, every voice is fighting for a piece of your attention. If you don't defend the fortress of your mind, you'll be conquered without even realizing it. Think of your mind like a garden. Weeds grow naturally. You don't have to plant them. They just appear. Doubt, fear, jealousy, laziness, they grow on their own. But flowers, crops, strong trees, those must be planted intentionally and cared for daily. Most people neglect their garden. They let every weed grow wild until it chokes out their potential. Then they wonder why their lives feel chaotic and uninspired. But the disciplined person stands as a soldier at the gates, choosing what comes in, rejecting what doesn't belong, and deliberately planting seeds of strength, clarity, and vision. Thoughts are not harmless. Too many people treat their thoughts like harmless background noise. It's just what I'm thinking, they say. But here's the reality. Thoughts are blueprints. Every achievement, every disaster, every rise, every downfall started as a single thought. If you feed your mind with excuses, you'll live in excuses. If you feed it with solutions, you'll live in solutions. Where your attention goes, your reality follows. Negative thinking isn't just an attitude problem, it's a disease that infects every choice you make. It poisons your courage, blinds your vision, and sabotages your opportunities before you even take the first step. Your mind is either your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. The mental diet. You already know what happens when you eat junk food. Your body weakens. Your energy collapses. Your health declines. Well, your mind works the same way. A steady diet of gossip, meaningless entertainment, and toxic voices rots your mental strength. But when you feed your mind with books, knowledge, deep conversations, and empowering ideas, you grow sharper, stronger, and more disciplined. Ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind every day? Because the results of your life are nothing but the harvest of your mental diet. How to master your thoughts. So how do you stop being a prisoner of your mind and start becoming its master? Here are practical strategies. 1, practice thought, awareness. Watch your thinking like an observer. Notice when your mind drifts into fear, jealousy, or limitation, and stop it immediately. Replace it with a better thought. 2, choose your input wisely. Unfollow accounts that waste your time. Limit negative conversations. Surround yourself with voices that speak vision, not limitation. 3, create mental rituals. Start your day with clarity reading, journaling, meditating, or affirming your goals. Don't let the world dictate the first thoughts in your head. 4, use the pause. When fear or doubt shows up, don't obey immediately. Pause, breathe, and respond with action. Discipline is built in those small moments of choosing courage over comfort. 5, upgrade your self-talk. Stop saying, I can't, I'm not ready, or I'm not good enough. Your subconscious is always listening. Speak strength into yourself until it becomes your default programming. Story of mental mastery. History proves this truth. The strongest people aren't always the most talented or the most resourced. They are the most mentally disciplined. Think about Nelson Mandela, locked in prison for 27 years. He couldn't control his circumstances, but he controlled his thoughts. Instead of letting bitterness consume him, he fed his mind with vision, with hope, with the belief in a future bigger than his chains. And when he walked free, he changed the destiny of a nation. Contrast that with countless people who had freedom, opportunity, even talent, but destroyed themselves because they couldn't control their inner voice of fear and doubt. The difference between success and failure is not out there, it's in here, in the mind. The edge of the disciplined mind. Here's why mastering your thoughts is the ultimate power, while everyone else is distracted, reactive, and consumed by the noise. You'll remain focused, deliberate, and in control. Most people live like puppets. Their strings pulled by circumstances and emotions. But when you master your mind, you cut those strings. You stop being a victim of the world and start becoming the designer of your own reality. Your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Fill your mind with fear. You live a fearful life. Fill it with excuses. You live a weak life. Fill it with vision, clarity, and discipline. And your life will begin to mirror those things. Final thought. Guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. The greatest war you will ever fight is the war for your focus. Win that war, and no external challenge can defeat you. Loose it, and no amount of talent, luck, or opportunity will save you. Master your mind, and you master your destiny, because the one who commands their thoughts commands their future. Emotions are like fire. Left uncontrolled, they burn everything in their path. Relationships, opportunities, and even your health. But when mastered, that same fire can cook your food, warm your home, and forge steel. The truth is simple. Your emotions are meant to serve you, not rule you. Emotions, masters or servants. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They feel anger and they explode. They feel fear and they retreat. They feel excitement and they leap without thinking. In every case, the emotion takes the wheel and the person becomes a passenger in their own life. But the man or woman who masters their emotions is untouchable. Why? Because while others are pulled in every direction by temporary feelings, they remain centered, calm, and deliberate. They decide instead of reacting. You've seen this in your own life? How many people ruined a relationship in a single moment of rage? How many destroyed years of progress because fear whispered in their ear? How many wasted opportunities because they couldn't stay calm long enough to see clearly? Undisciplined mood is a wrecking ball. The controlled mood is a shield, a compass, and a weapon all at once. Calm in the chaos. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. Winds howl, trees snap, debris flies past your head. Everyone around you is running. panicking, losing control. But you stand still, calm, grounded. That's the power of emotional control. Life will always send storms, betrayals, losses, insults, setbacks. If you allow your mood to be dictated by every storm, you'll live in constant chaos. But if you can stay calm in chaos, you'll hold the highest ground. People respect calm in a storm. They follow it. They trust it. Leaders aren't the loudest or the most emotional. They are the ones who can keep their head when everyone else is losing theirs. The pause, your secret weapon. Here's the tool that separates the impulsive from the disciplined. The pause. Most people feel and then instantly act. They get angry and shoot back with words they regret. They feel fear and immediately quit. They get flattered and instantly let down their guard. But the disciplined mind inserts a pause, a single breath, a moment of space between feeling and action. In that space lives your power. In that space, you decide whether the emotion deserves control or not. One pause can save a relationship. One pause can protect your reputation. One pause can turn a potential disaster into a strategic victory. Emotions lie. You must understand something. Critical emotions are liars. Anger tells you to burn bridges you still need. Fear tells you to quit when you're one step from victory. Excitement tells you to leap without looking. If you obey every emotional impulse, you will live a life of starting and stopping, building and destroying, always trapped in cycles of regret. Emotions should inform you, not command you. Anger can reveal injustice. Fear can show danger. Excitement can provide energy, but they should never drive the car. Training emotional control. Like any skill, emotional mastery comes through training. Here are practical strategies to build it. 1. Name your emotions. When you feel anger, don't just react. Say to yourself, "This is anger." Naming it creates distance. It turns a wave into an object you can analyze. 2. Control your environment. If you live in constant noise, drama, or negativity, your emotions will always be under attack. Cut toxic people. Cut toxic spaces. Cut toxic habits. 3. Use the breath. A slow, deliberate breath resets your nervous system. It buys you time to think. 4. Rehearse calmness. Put yourself in small, stressful situations, intentionally traffic, waiting, small disagreements, and practice staying calm. This builds your emotional muscle. 5. Translate emotion into action. Use anger to fuel improvement. Use fear to prepare better. Use sadness to deepen empathy. Use excitement to energize discipline. Story of emotional mastery. Think of the greatest generals, negociators, and leaders in history. They weren't the ones who never felt emotion. They were the ones who refused to be ruled by it. Abraham Lincoln, facing a divided nation, received endless criticism and insults. He once said, "I am a slow walker, but I never walk back." He absorbed attacks without losing his focus. He let his emotions inform him, but never enslave him. That calmness in chaos became one of his greatest strengths. Contrast that with leaders who lost control, who allowed anger, arrogance, or fear to dictate their actions. History remembers them not for victories, but for downfall. Balance in both pain and pleasure. Here's something few people realize. Emotional mastery isn't only about handling pain, it's about handling pleasure. Pain can make you quit too early. Pleasure can make you lose discipline too soon. Success, praise, and excitement can be just as dangerous as failure if you let them blind you. The disciplined person remains steady in both extremes. They can celebrate victory without arrogance. They can endure defeat without collapse. They can feel deeply but decide wisely. The rare power of emotional stability. In a world addicted to reaction, emotional stability is rare, and rarity creates value. Nobody trusts an emotionally unstable leader, partner, or friend. But everyone respects the one who can stay composed when others fall apart. That stability makes you magnetic. People want to follow it. People want to invest in it. People want to be around it because in a chaotic world, calmness is power. Final thought, your mood should never be the driver of your life. It should be a passenger one that you guide, direct, and control. Emotions are powerful allies when trained, but dangerous masters when obeyed. Don't let them rule you. Train them, command them, use them as fuel, because the one who masters their emotions cannot be manipulated by the world, and the one who stays calm in chaos always wins. Money is not just paper. It's not just numbers in a bank account. Money is a mirror. It reflects your discipline, your mindset, and your ability to control yourself. If you can't master your money, it's not really about dollars. It's about the fact that you can't master yourself. Money is a teacher. Most people think money is about income. They believe that if they could just earn more, their problems would vanish. But here's the hard truth. It's not what you earn. It's what you keep, what you grow, and how you use it. There are people making six figures who are broke, and there are people making modest incomes who retire wealthy. What's the difference? Discipline. Money teaches you something deeper than finance. It teaches you whether you can delay gratification, whether you can say not now to an impulse, whether you can think long-term instead of being trapped in the short-term, the trap of desire. Walk through a mall, scroll social media, watch commercials. Every second of your day, someone is trying to sell you something. And every sale whispers the same lie. You need this now. That's desire speaking. Desire doesn't care about your future. It doesn't care about your freedom. It only cares about the moment. It tells you to upgrade the car when the one you have works fine. It tells you to buy the shoes for the thrill of the purchase, not the utility. It tells you that spending money equals happiness, but every dollar you spend on fleeting pleasure is a dollar stolen from your future freedom. Discipline sees this clearly. Discipline knows that wealth is built not by chasing every want, but by investing in your future. Needs versus aspirations. Wants. Here's the test. Do you know the difference between needs and wants? Needs keep you alive, stable, and functional. Food, shelter, health, basic security. Wants entertain you, decorate you, and impress others. The danger comes when wants disguise themselves as needs. That's when finances spiral out of control. If you can't tell yourself, not now, when desire rises, you'll never build lasting stability. Money is a seed. Every dollar is a seed. You can plant it or you can eat it. If you plant it, it grows into freedom, opportunity, and wealth. If you eat it, it's gone forever. The wealthy don't treat money like something to be spent. They treat it like soldiers. Every dollar saved or invested is a soldier sent to work, fighting for them, multiplying in the background, protecting them. When storms come, the careless, they waste their soldiers. They throw them away. Then, when the real battle of life hits job loss, crisis, opportunity, they stand unarmed. Why lottery winners go broke. You've heard the stories, lottery winners, athletes, celebrities, millions in their hands one day. Bankruptcy, the next. How does that happen? Because money doesn't change who you are, it amplifies who you are. If you are undisciplined with $1,000, you'll be catastrophic with $1 million. If you can't control your spending when you're broke, money won't save you. It will destroy you faster. Wealth without discipline is a curse. Habits of financial discipline. Here's how disciplined people treat money differently. 1, they track every dollar, not obsessively, but intentionally. Every dollar has a name and a purpose. 2, they live below their means, not to be cheap, but to stay free. Lifestyle inflation is the death of wealth. 3, they avoid toxic debt. If it doesn't generate income, it doesn't deserve to chain you. 4, they invest consistently, not in get-rich-quick schemes, but in steady, proven vehicles. 5, they delay gratification. They understand that the car, the vacation, the watch will feel better when it's bought without regret. The confidence of control. There's a confidence that comes from financial discipline. It's not about having millions in the bank. It's about knowing that you can trust yourself. Every time you resist an impulse, every time you save when you wanted to spend, every time you invest instead of waste, you're proving to yourself that you are in control. And that confidence is priceless. A story of 2 men. One man earns $80,000 a year. He spends $82,000. A look successful car, clothes, nights out, but inside he's drowning. Stress, debt, anxiety. His money owns him. Another man earns $50,000 a year. He lives on $35,000, saves $10,000, invests $5,000. He doesn't impress strangers, but he sleeps at night. His freedom grows every year. He owns his money. Who's richer? The one with peace, not the one with toys. Money as freedom. Here's the ultimate truth. Money is not about luxury. It's about freedom. Freedom to say no to a job you hate. Freedom to walk away from toxic people. Freedom to pursue opportunities without begging for permission. When you control your money, you own your time. And when you own your time, you own your life. Final thought: money reflects self-control. It multiplies in the hands of the disciplined. It disappears in the hands of the careless. Every dollar is a decision. Every purchase is a vote for your freedom or against it. Master your money. And you don't just gain wealth, you gain control of your destiny. Because the truth is this: if you can't control your money will control you. Silence. Most people fear it. They rush to fill it with words, with noise, with chatter that adds no value. But here's the paradox. Silence is not weakness, it is power. The person who can stay silent when everyone else is speaking carries an invisible strength few will ever understand. In a world addicted to noise, the quiet one is the rarest and often the most dangerous. Presence in the room. Why silence is power. Think about it. The loudest voice in the room is rarely the strongest. Noise often comes from insecurity, from the need to be heard, to be validated, to be noticed. True power doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't need to prove itself. Silence unsettles people. It makes them wonder what you're thinking, what you know, what you're holding back. And in that wondering, they reveal themselves while you reveal nothing. Words are weapons. Every word you speak is either a weapon or a tool. A careless sentence can ruin a career, a relationship, or an opportunity. A wise sentence can build trust, open doors, and inspire loyalty. But here's the thing, words cannot be taken back. You can apologize. You can regret, but the damage may already be done. That's why the disciplined person uses silence as a filter. They pause before they speak. They measure their words. They ask, does this build or does this burn? Most people speak to be heard. The wise speak to be understood. Silence buys time. Silence is not emptiness. It is space, and in that space lies your greatest advantage. Time to think before you respond. Time to assess before you commit. Time to understand the other person before you reveal yourself. Impulsive people reveal too much. They give away their emotions, their strategies, even their weaknesses. But the silent, they gather intelligence. They observe. They stay unpredictable. This unpredictability makes silence a shield. A strategic pause can protect you from arguments, manipulation, and traps set by others. Silence protects your mood. Life is full of provocations. People will insult you, bait you, drag you into conflicts that don't serve you. If you respond to every attack, you give strangers control over your state of mind. But silence protects you. It is the refusal to hand your peace to someone else's chaos. When you remain calm and silent in the face of provocation, you communicate strength without saying a word. You are untouchable. Silence sharpens focus. Every conversation you avoid, every gossip you ignore, every meaningless debate you refuse to join frees your mind for what actually matters. Noise is cheap. Focus is rare. The quiet worker, the one who moves in silence, is often the one who shocks the world when the results appear. Why? Because while others wasted energy on empty words, they invested energy into building something real. Silence is strategy. Silence is not passive, it's strategic. In negotiations, silence makes the other person reveal more. In leadership, silence gives weight to the words you do speak. In relationships, silence shows restraint and prevents permanent damage from temporary emotions. The impulsive speaker shows their hand. The disciplined one waits, listens, and strikes at the right moment. Sometimes the most powerful statement is the one you don't make. The psychological edge. Here's what most people don't realize. Silence makes others uncomfortable. Humans crave feedback, reaction, acknowledgement. When you give them none, they scramble, they second guess, they over-explain, and in that discomfort, they often reveal more than they intended. Meanwhile, you learn everything you need without giving away a single piece of yourself. Silence and self-mastery. Silence is not just about controlling your mouth. It begins with controlling your mind. Words are born in thought. If your thoughts are chaotic, your speech will be careless. But if your thoughts are disciplined, your speech will be intentional. This is why mastering silence is really about mastering yourself. It's about resisting the urge to react, the urge to fill the void, the urge to prove yourself. Self-control in speech reflects self-control in life. A story of two leaders. Two leaders walk into a room. One talks constantly, eager to impress, desperate to dominate the space. The other listens more than he speaks. He chooses his words carefully, speaking only when necessary. Who gains more respect? Who commands the room? Always the one who listens, waits, and speaks with precision, because authority is not in the volume of your voice, it's in the weight of your words. Final thought. In a world of endless chatter, your silence is your weapon. It is not emptiness, it is control. It doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you know not everything needs to be said. Guard your words as if they were gold. Let silence protect your peace. Sharpen your focus and strengthen your presence, because here's the truth. Anyone can talk, but only the wise know when to stay silent. And in that silence, your power will grow beyond measure. Your mind is the command center of your life. It is the factory where every decision, every belief, and every future outcome is manufactured. Guard it well, because whatever you allow inside will eventually shape what happens outside. Most people treat their minds carelessly. They allow negativity, fear, gossip, and distraction to enter unchecked, as if the gates of their mental fortress were left wide open. But here's the truth. What you permit into your mind will eventually dominate your life. Your mind is a fortress. Imagine your mind as a castle on a hill. Inside that castle lives your destiny, your goals, your ambitions, your deepest potential. Outside are countless invaders: doubt, fear, jealousy, anger, laziness, distraction. If you leave the gates unguarded, the enemy will enter. And once they enter, they don't just visit, they plant seeds. Seeds that grow into habits, into thought patterns, into limiting beliefs that quietly strangle your future. This is why guarding your mind is not optional. It is survival. The garden principle. Think of your mind like fertile soil. Weeds don't need permission to grow. They appear on their own. But flowers require intentional planting, deliberate care, and constant protection. Your thoughts work the same way. Doubt, fear, and insecurity will grow naturally if you do nothing. Confidence, vision, and discipline must be planted every single day. If you don't cultivate your mental garden, weeds will take over, and soon your outer life will reflect that inner neglect. Thoughts are blueprints. Every action, every success, every failure begins with a single thought. Thoughts are not harmless. They are architects of your destiny. Negative thoughts build prisons of fear and limitation. Positive, empowering thoughts build bridges to opportunity and growth. This is why you must treat your thoughts as carefully as a builder treats a blueprint. Would you build a house with a flawed design? Then why build a life with flawed thinking, guarding against mental pollution? We live in an age of noise. Social media, TV, gossip, opinions, all competing for space in your head. And most of it is toxic. If you constantly consume negativity, don't be surprised when your life reflects it. If you surround yourself with small thinkers, don't be shocked when your dreams shrink to match theirs. Guarding your mind means curating your mental diet. Read books that challenge and expand you. Listen to voices that strengthen you. not drain you. Surround yourself with people who speak possibility, not limitation. Your environment is a buffet. Are you mindlessly eating what's served, or intentionally selecting what nourishes you? Self-talk the voice. Inside guarding your mind isn't just about blocking external noise, it's also about managing internal dialogue. Your self-talk is the most influential voice you'll ever hear. If you tell yourself you're weak, unlucky, or incapable, your mind will believe it and your actions will follow. But if you speak life, discipline, and resilience into your inner world, your mind will rise to meet that standard. Every day, you are either poisoning or strengthening yourself with your words. Choose wisely. Controlling the gatekeepers. Guarding your mind means controlling who and what gets access. Think of yourself as the gatekeeper. Would you let a thief walk into your home and take your valuables? Then why let destructive influences walk into your mind and steal your peace? Would you let strangers dump garbage in your living room? Then why let toxic content dump garbage into your thoughts every time you allow negativity in? You weaken the fortress. Every time you shut it out, you strengthen it. The power of awareness. Guarding your mind requires vigilance. You must become aware of your own thinking. Noticing when your thoughts begin drifting into fear, self-doubt, or weakness. The moment you catch yourself thinking destructively, stop and redirect. Replace that thought with one that serves you. At first, this is difficult. Old mental habits resist change, but with practice, your mind learns to follow the new path. This is how mental discipline is built, not in one grand moment, but in thousands of small corrections. Your mental diet determines your reality. Your outer life will always rise or fall to the level of your inner thoughts. Think like a victim, and your life will reflect victimhood. Think like a leader, and your life will rise to leadership. Think in terms of problems, and you'll drown in them. Think in terms of solutions, and you'll begin to create them. Where your attention goes, your reality follows. The warrior mindset. The mind is a battlefield, and you are the warrior every day. Forces compete to control your thoughts. Doubt whispers. Fear intimidates. Laziness tempts. But the disciplined mind stands guard like a soldier, choosing carefully which thoughts to allow, which to reject, and which to amplify. Winners don't allow the world to dictate what lives in their head. They choose their thoughts deliberately like weapons chosen for battle. Final thought. Your mind is the single greatest asset you own. Guard it as if your life depends on it, because it does. If you let negativity flood in, you will sabotage yourself before the world even has a chance. But if you feed your mind with vision, discipline, and strength, you will rise above the noise, the chaos, and the doubt. Control your mind, and you control your destiny. Leave it unguarded, and the world will control it for you. The choice is yours. Emotions are powerful. They can fuel you to greatness or drag you into destruction. They are fire capable of warming your life or burning it to ashes. The difference lies in control. The truth is simple. You cannot live a powerful life if you are a slave to your feelings. The man or woman who bows to anger, fear, or impulse is tossed around like a leaf in the wind. But the one who commands emotion, who uses it as a servant instead of a master, becomes unstoppable. Emotions are not enemies. Many people think strength means never feeling emotion. That's wrong. The strongest leaders in history felt deeply fear, anger, love, excitement. But they never allowed those emotions to drive the car. Emotions are meant to inform, not control. Anger can reveal injustice, but it should not dictate your words. Fear can alert you to danger, but it should not paralyze your actions. Excitement can fuel ambition, but it should not make you reckless. Like soldiers in an army, emotions have their place, but a wise general never lets the troops decide the battle plan. The danger of impulses. Most destruction in life happens in moments of unchecked emotion. A career-ending outburst, a relationship shattered by rage, a financial disaster caused by reckless excitement. One impulsive reaction can undo years of effort. That's why emotional mastery is not optional. It is the difference between building a life and burning it down. Ask yourself how many people have destroyed opportunities simply because they couldn't pause before reacting. How many victories were lost not to enemies, but to tempers? The pause, your superpower. The greatest weapon against emotional impulsiveness is the pause. When anger rises, pause. When fear whispers, pause. When excitement tempts, pause. In that pause lives your power. It is the gap between stimulus and response, where wisdom has a chance to speak. Most people don't pause, they react instantly. But the disciplined pause is what separates the weak from the powerful. A pause gives you time to think before you speak. Judge whether the moment deserves your energy. Choose strategy over impulse. A single pause has saved marriages, preserved reputations, and secured opportunities that would have been lost to emotional recklessness. Calm in chaos. Imagine two leaders in a crisis. One panics, shouts orders, and spreads fear. The other remains calm, steady, and deliberate. Who do people follow? Always the calm one. Why? Because calm is strength. Calm is clarity. Calm is rare. When the storm rages, people look for a steady hand. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It's about standing like a rock in the middle of chaos. That kind of presence commands respect, trust, and loyalty. Emotions lie. Here's the hard truth. Your emotions often lie to you. Anger tells you to burn bridges you'll need later. Fear tells you to quit when victory is one step away. Excitement tells you to leap before you look. If you listen to every emotional impulse, you'll live in cycles of building and destroying, progress and regret. Emotional mastery means hearing the emotion, but not obeying it blindly. Guarding your environment. Your emotions are constantly influenced by your environment. If you surround yourself with chaos, negativity, and drama, you will live in reaction mode. Guard your space. Protect your energy. Surround yourself with people and environments that promote stability, not volatility. A calm environment makes a calm mind easier to maintain. Training your emotional discipline. Like any skill, emotional mastery requires training. Start small when insulted. Resist the urge to respond instantly. When afraid, take one step forward anyway. When overly excited, breathe before committing. Every act of emotional discipline builds your strength over time. What once triggered you no longer controls you. That is the true mark of growth. Emotional stability equals respect. People don't trust unstable leaders, unpredictable partners, or moody friends. But everyone respects the one who can stay steady in both storms and sunshine. The emotionally mastered individual accepts criticism without collapsing. enjoys praise without arrogance, faces defeat without despair, celebrates victory without losing discipline. That kind of balance is rare, and rarity always attracts value. Balance in pain and pleasure, life will test you with pain, betrayal, disappointment, rejection. It will also test you with pleasure, success, wealth, attention. Both can unbalance you. Pain can make you give up too soon. Pleasure can make you lose discipline too fast. Emotional mastery means holding steady in both extremes. It means enjoying the highs without arrogance and enduring the lows without despair. Final thought. Your emotions are servants, not rulers. Treat them as tools, guides that give you information, but never the authority to command. A man or woman enslaved by emotion will always be controlled by others. But the one who masters emotion becomes unshakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. Discipline over desire, calm over case, control over impulse. That is emotional mastery, and that is freedom. If emotions are the fire inside you, then desire is the spark that ignites it. Desire isn't bad, it's natural, human, and powerful. Desire can inspire you to dream big, to pursue love, to reach for success. But here's the truth. Desire without discipline is a trap. Most people live their lives chained to desire. They want comfort now, pleasure now, gratification now. They let impulses make their decisions, and then they wonder why their dreams crumble. The weak serve desire, the strong serve discipline, and that choice determines everything. The illusion of desire. Desire is seductive because it feels good in the moment. It whispers, "You deserve this. You've done enough. Just one more." But desire never tells you the cost. That late night indulgence costs you health. That reckless spending costs you financial freedom. That skipped workout costs you strength. Desire gives you pleasure up front, but hides the pain waiting behind it. Discipline is the opposite. It demands sacrifice now, but delivers freedom later. Every fall is a battle lost to desire. Look closely at the downfalls of people: broken health, broken finances, broken relationships. Trace them back, and you will find the same root cause: desire ruling over discipline. The body falls apart because desire chose junk food over nutrition. The wallet empties because desire chose spending over saving. The mind dulls because desire chose distraction over learning. Dreams die because desire chose comfort over consistency. Discipline is the gatekeeper. Without it, desire will eat away your future, one small decision at a time. Discipline is the guardian of dreams. Dreams are fragile. They don't die in one blow. They die in small betrayals. Every time you choose desire over discipline, you trade a piece of your future for a moment you'll soon forget. Discipline says, wake up when you'd rather sleep, save when you'd rather spend, work when you'd rather relax, stay when you'd rather quit. It's not glamorous. It doesn't feel good in the moment. But years later, those small choices stack up into strength, freedom, and success that desire could never deliver. The power of delayed gratification. Every successful life is built on one principle: delayed gratification. The ability to say, not now, later. Children chase candy now. Adults build businesses so they can enjoy freedom later. One is ruled by desire, the other is ruled by discipline. Discipline understands that lasting results take time. It is patient, steady, and relentless. Desire burns bright and fast, but but discipline burns steady for years. Desire will always test you. There will be days when desire screams louder than discipline. The pull of laziness, distraction, shortcuts. It will feel overwhelming. But in those moments, you must remember discipline is freedom. Desire is slavery. Each time you choose discipline, you strengthen your control. Each time you choose desire, you weaken it. Which side you feed becomes the ruler of your life. Discipline gives direction to desire. Discipline isn't about killing desire. It's about harnessing it. Desire is energy, but without discipline, it is reckless energy. Desire without discipline is a gambler throwing money away. Desire with discipline is an investor building wealth. Desire without discipline is a sprinter who burns out. Desire with discipline is a marathoner who finishes strong. Desire is the fuel. Discipline is the steering wheel. Together, they create power. Alone, desire crashes every time. Discipline feels like punishment at first. At the beginning, discipline feels hard. Saying no feels like loss. Skipping indulgence feels unfair. Waking up early feels painful. But here's the secret. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. Discipline protects your health. Discipline protects your wealth. Discipline protects your focus. Discipline protects your future. Over time, what felt like sacrifice begins to feel like freedom. You no longer crave what destroys you because you've built a life that feeds you the rare power of the disciplined. Most people won't choose discipline. They want comfort now, applause now, success now, without the grind, without the patience, without the sacrifice. But the rare few who choose discipline, who sacrifice when no one's watching, who endure when everyone else quits, those are the ones who shock the world. History doesn't remember the impulsive. It remembers the disciplined, the people who said no to 1,000 temptations so they could say yes to one destiny. Final thought. The war between desire and discipline never ends. It happens every morning when the alarm rings. Every time temptation calls, every time comfort whispers, each choice moves you closer to regret or closer to greatness. Desire will give you fleeting pleasure, followed by lasting regret. Discipline will give you fleeting discomfort, followed by lasting success. So remember, discipline is freedom. Desire is slavery. Choose discipline. Win the war within, and watch as the world opens to the one who mastered himself. Money is one of the greatest mirrors of who you are. It doesn't just reflect your income, it reflects your mindset, your habits, your discipline. People think money is about numbers. But here's the truth. Money is about self-control. The way you earn it, spend it, save it, and grow. It says more about your discipline than about your paycheck. Money is not loyal to anyone. It flows toward those who respect it and away from those who waste it. And if you don't master your money will master you. Money is not the problem, you are. People often say, if only I had more money, all my problems would disappear. But history proves otherwise. Lottery winners go broke. High-income earners live paycheck to paycheck. Athletes with million-dollar contracts end up bankrupt. Why? Because the problem isn't the money. It's the lack of discipline. If you cannot control yourself when you have little, you won't control yourself when you have much. A lack of discipline with $100 becomes a disaster with $100,000. Money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies it. If you're careless, money magnifies your carelessness. If you're disciplined, money multiplies your discipline. Needs versus best. Wants the first battle mastering. Money begins with mastering the difference between needs and wants. Needs keep you stable food, shelter, health. Wants keep you entertained luxuries, status, instant gratification. Without discipline, wants disguise themselves as needs. That's when people get trapped in debt, in endless cycles of chasing things that don't matter. The true mark of money mastery is being able to say, not now, not necessary. That act of self-control builds the foundation of wealth. Money is freedom if you control it. Every dollar you spend recklessly is a soldier lost. Every dollar you save with intention is a soldier working for your future. With discipline, money becomes your army. It fights for you while you sleep through investments, savings, and opportunities. Without discipline, you walk into the battlefield of life unarmed. The disciplined person uses money as a shield to protect against emergencies, to seize opportunities, to build freedom instead of chains. The careless person uses money as a toy and wakes up enslaved to debt, stress, and regret. Impatience is poverty. Most people stay broke because they want wealth now. They chase get-rich-quick schemes, gamble their income, or overspend to look rich. That impatience destroys more fortunes than poverty ever will. Real wealth is slow. It is brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. It comes from consistency, patience, and strategy, not from chasing shortcuts. Impatience is poverty in disguise. Discipline is wealth in motion. The habits of the financially free wealth is not built on luck. It's built on small, repeated acts of discipline. Track your expenses. Save before you spend. Live below your means. Avoid unnecessary debt. Invest with wisdom, not emotion. These habits may sound simple, even boring, but simplicity repeated daily becomes security, freedom, and legacy. The undisciplined scoff at these habits. The disciplined live by them and build empires, money, and self-respect. Your relationship with money is also your relationship with yourself. If you cannot trust yourself with money, it means you cannot trust your own decisions. But every time you choose savings over impulse, every time you say no to status symbols and yes to stability, you strengthen that trust. You build confidence not because of the number in your account, but because of the control in your mind. Wealth is not just financial. Wealth is confidence. Wealth is discipline. Wealth is freedom, saying no when everyone else says yes. The hardest part of mastering money isn't cutting small luxuries. It's saying no when everyone else is saying yes. When your friends upgrade cars, you stay with yours. When coworkers take a vacation they can't afford, you decline. When neighbors buy the bigger house, you wait. Discipline with money often looks like humility. But humility today becomes freedom tomorrow. And those who mock your discipline today will envy your freedom tomorrow. Discipline turns money into opportunity. A disciplined person has the power to say yes when opportunity knocks. Yes to investing in a business. Yes to buying property. Yes to taking time off to pursue passion. Yes to freedom instead of debt. But the undisciplined cannot say yes because their past choices have chained them. They are trapped in obligations, debt, and regret. The difference isn't income. The difference is discipline Money is a seed. Every dollar is a seed. You can plant it for tomorrow or consume it today. Plant it, and it multiplies. Waste it, and it disappears forever. The rich are not always the smartest. They are the most disciplined seed planters. They see money not as something to spend, but as something to grow. Final thought: money is not just about wealth, it's about self-mastery. It is a mirror that reflects whether you serve impulse or discipline. If you control your money, you control your future. If money controls you, you will forever be a slave to it. So remember, wealth isn't built by luck, by income, or by chance. Wealth is built by discipline. Master your money, and you master your life. It's everywhere. On your phone, in your news feed, in your conversations, at work, at home. The world has never been louder, and yet never more empty. Most people live as prisoners of noise, addicted to gossip, headlines, arguments, and endless distractions. They think they're staying informed, but in truth, they're being programmed. Their attention, the most valuable currency they own, is being stolen minute by minute. If you want power, clarity, and progress in this world, you must do something radical. Detach from the noise. Noise versus focus. Noise is not just sound. Noise is anything that pulls you away from what truly matters. Gossip is noise. Pointless arguments are noise. Mindless scrolling is noise. Endless opinions from people going nowhere, that's noise. Noise breeds anxiety, comparison, and hesitation. It floods your mind with problems that don't belong to you. And the more you feed on it, the more powerless you feel. But when you step away, something powerful happens. Your mind clears. Your energy returns, and your focus sharpens. Noise steals. Focus builds. Choose wisely, guarding your attention like treasure. Your attention is your most valuable possession. Where it goes, your life follows. Yet most people treat it carelessly, handing it to apps, to arguments, to strangers. Imagine your attention as a vault. Every time you give it to noise, you're handing out the keys for free. But when you guard it, when you direct it only toward growth, disciplina, and purpose, you build a fortress. No one can invade. Focus is the new wealth. In a world where everyone is distracted, the person who can think clearly will always win. Cut out 90% of the noise. You don't need more information. You need less. You don't need more opinions. You need clarity. Here's the truth. 90% of what you consume is garbage. It doesn't build you. It doesn't move you forward. It doesn't sharpen your edge. It's mental junk food. Detaching from noise means unfollowing accounts that waste your time, walking away from conversations that circle in negativity, turning off notifications that demand your attention but offer nothing in return. It means saying, "My time is too valuable to waste on what does not serve me." Replace noise with nutrition. Detaching from noise doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means replacing distraction with direction. Instead of endless scrolling, read books that challenge your thinking. Instead of gossip, have conversations that spark growth. Instead of shallow entertainment, study skills that move you closer to mastery. Your environment is a buffet. The question is, are you eating whatever is served? Or are you choosing deliberately? Because what you consume daily becomes who you are. Silence as a weapon. Noise makes you predictable. Silence makes you powerful. When you are silent, You observe, you think, you calculate, others rush to speak, reveal their plans, show their weaknesses. You reveal nothing. You stay in control. That silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. It's the pause that gives you clarity, the stillness that gives you strength. In a noisy world, silence becomes rare, and rarity is power from consumer to creator. Noise makes you a consumer, focus makes you a creator. The consumer reacts, the creator builds, the consumer chases headlines. The creator writes their own story. When you detach from the noise, you free your mind to create, to design your future instead of being distracted by someone else's. The loudest voices rarely change the world. The clearest minds always do. Detachment as a form of self-respect. Most people won't admit it. But noise is addictive. It gives the illusion of importance, the feeling of being involved. But in reality, it's a trap. Detachment is not weakness. It is self-respect. It is saying, my mind, my time, my energy are too valuable to waste on meaningless chatter. Think of it like a warrior before battle. He strips away distractions, sharpens his sword, and focuses on the mission. You cannot fight for your future while being entertained by your enemies. Detach to prepare. Detach to protect. Detach to win. The world belongs to the focused. History is clear. Greatness was never built in noise. Empires were built in focus. Discoveries were made in silence. Legacies were forged in discipline. Noise is for the masses. Focus is for the masters. Detach from the noise, and you'll discover the most important voice of all your own. The voice that says, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm building, and I refuse to waste time on anything that does not serve that mission. Final thought, in a world addicted to distraction, clarity is rare, and rarity is power. Detach from noise. Guard your focus. Protect your attention like treasure, because in the end, it's not the loudest who win. It's the most disciplined, the most focused, the most relentless. Remember this, the world belongs to those who cannot be shaken by noise. So here we are, after 10 chapters, after hundreds of insights, after breaking down the mastery of your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. It all comes down to this one truth. The greatest victory you will ever win is the victory over yourself. Not the market, not the competition, not the world. You. Because if you can master your words, your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits, then no external force can truly defeat you. Every empire begins within. Every dream is born in silence before it shatters the noise of the world. The people who rise are not the loudest, the richest, or the most talented. They are the ones who have trained themselves, disciplined themselves, and mastered themselves. This is not just theory. This is not motivation. This is a blueprint. This is the operating system of power. This is the path to becoming unstoppable. Now the question is, will you just listen? Or will you act? Will you master your mouth, so every word becomes a seed of greatness? Will you master your mind, so every thought builds the life you desire? Will you master your mood, so no storm can shake your calm? Will you master your money, so discipline creates your freedom? Because self-mastery is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice, Every choice you make is either building your future or breaking it. So choose. Choose discipline over desire. Choose silence over noise. Choose mastery over mediocrity. Final push. If this message lit a fire inside you, don't let it die here. Keep feeding it. Keep growing it. Subscribe to this channel for more timeless lessons from Napoleon Hill and the greatest minds in history. Share this video with someone you know needs this message. And drop a comment below. I choose mastery. Let the world know you are part of the rare few who take command of their life. Because the truth is simple. The one who masters himself masters his destiny. And that can be you. Starting today,